Success doesn't just happen, it's built piece by piece, and the key to making it inevitable is in your hands right now. Imagine waking up every day knowing the actions you take are bringing you closer to your goals. No more doubts, no more hoping. You've programmed yourself for success. And now it's just a matter of time. Today I'm going to show you exactly how to brainwash yourself for success. These aren't just tips. They're real strategies you can start using today to change the way you think, act, and live. You'll break old habits, develop a success-driven mindset, and make winning automatic. This isn't about quick fixes. It's about creating lasting change that makes success feel inevitable. By the end of this video, you'll have the tools to make success a part of your everyday life. Ready to make success your new reality? Stay with me. And let's dive in. This is just the beginning. Number 1. Erase the old programming that's holding you back. If you don't take control of your mind, someone else will. And if you're not careful, you'll spend your whole life running on someone else's beliefs, following someone else's rules, and living a life you never truly wanted. But today that ends. Today you take your mind back, because if you want success, real, lasting success, you have to erase the mental programming that's been keeping you stuck. Think about it. Every decision you make, every action you take, every hesitation, every doubt, every excuse, it all comes from a set of beliefs buried deep in your mind. And here's the hard truth. Most of those beliefs were never yours to begin with. They were given to you, planted in your mind by parents, teachers, society, and experiences that shape the way you see yourself and the world. And if you never question those beliefs, you'll spend your entire life living by rules that don't serve you, rules that limit you, rules that keep you small. Maybe someone told you that success is for lucky people, and now you hesitate to take action because deep down you don't believe you have what it takes. Maybe you were taught that money is hard to earn, and now you sabotage every opportunity that comes your way without even realizing it. Maybe you failed once, and instead of seeing it as a lesson, you started believing that you weren't meant for greatness. But let me ask you something. Who gave you these beliefs? And more importantly, why are you still holding on to them? If you want to change your life, you have to start by changing your mind. You have to rewire the way you think, challenge everything you've been told, and erase every belief that is working against you. Because here's the truth. Nothing is stopping you except the story you keep telling yourself. Right now, I want you to stop and pay attention to your thoughts. What do you believe about success? About money? About your abilities? Be honest. If you find yourself saying, "I'm not smart enough," "I don't have the right connections," "I wasn't born into wealth," or "I'm just not lucky," understand this. Those are not facts. Those are just programs running in your mind, and the only reason they have power over you is because you believe them. But the good news is, beliefs can be changed. The first step is to challenge them. If you believe that success is only for certain people, find proof that contradicts that belief. Look at all the people who started with nothing and built something great. If you believe that money is evil, ask yourself where that idea came from. Because the truth is, money is neutral. It's just a tool. It's neither good nor bad. What matters is how you use it. If you believe you're not capable of achieving your goals, ask yourself why. Who told you that? And why do you believe them? If they weren't successful themselves, why would you listen to them? Here's something you need to understand. Every time you reinforce a limiting belief, you strengthen it. Every time you say, "I can't," your mind accepts it as truth. And before you know it, you've built a mental prison that keeps you from even trying. But the moment you start questioning those beliefs, the walls begin to crack. And once they crack, you can tear them down completely. The second step is to replace those old beliefs with new, powerful ones. If you've been telling yourself, "I'm not good enough," change that to, "I am more than capable." If you've been saying, "I'm not smart enough," start saying, "I can learn anything I need to succeed." If you've been thinking, "I'm not lucky," reframe it to, "I create my own luck through action and persistence." And don't just say it once, repeat it every single day until it becomes the new truth in your mind. Because the reality is, your mind believes what it hears the most. If you feed it doubt, it will make you hesitate. But if you feed it confidence, it will make you unstoppable. But here's where most people get it wrong. They try to change their beliefs, but they stay in the same environment that programmed them in the first place. If you want to erase old programming, you have to change what you expose yourself to. That means cutting out negative influences, whether it's toxic people, depressing news, or mindless content that adds nothing to your life. You need to surround yourself with voices that push you forward, not hold you back. Listen to people who have achieved what you want. Read books that expand your mind. Absorb ideas that inspire action, not fear. Because if you keep consuming the same information, you'll keep thinking the same way. And if you keep thinking the same way, you'll keep getting the same results. But even with all that, none of this will work unless you take action. Your mind can be reprogrammed, but it needs proof. You need to take real steps that reinforce your new beliefs. If you want to believe you're capable, do something challenging and prove it to yourself. If you want to believe you're disciplined, set a goal and stick to it. Every action you take is a vote for the person you want to become. So don't just sit there thinking about change. Go out and make it happen. This process isn't instant. You're undoing years, maybe even decades, of conditioning. But the moment you start questioning your beliefs, the moment you decide to take control of your mind, you set yourself on a path to transformation. And once you start that journey, there's no going back. So erase the old programming, break free from the beliefs that have kept you small, and step into the version of yourself that was meant to succeed. Because the only thing standing between you and the life you want is the story you've been telling yourself. Change the story, and you change your life. Number 2. Install a success-driven mindset. Your mind is either working for you or against you. And the sad truth is, most people never take control of it. They let their thoughts run on autopilot, driven by fear, doubt, and distractions, and then they wonder why they're stuck. But not you, not anymore. Because the moment you decide to install a success-driven mindset, everything changes. You stop reacting to life and start creating it. You stop waiting for opportunities and start making them. And you stop living by excuses and start building the future you truly deserve. The way you think determines the way you live. If your mind is filled with excuses, your life will be filled with regrets. If your mind is filled with fear, your life will be filled with hesitation. But if your mind is filled with confidence, discipline, and a belief that you can create any result you desire, success becomes inevitable. That's what a success-driven mindset is. It's a system of thinking that forces you to win. It's training your brain to see solutions instead of problems, to take action instead of waiting, to focus on what's possible instead of what's difficult. And once you install it, you become unstoppable. Right now, your brain is running on years of conditioning. The words you've heard, the experiences you've had, the way you've been taught to see the world, it has all shaped your mindset. And if that mindset is weak, full of self-doubt, hesitation, and fear, it doesn't matter how much talent you have or how hard you work, you'll always find a way to sabotage your own success. That's why the first step to installing a success-driven mindset is reprogramming the way you think. You have to stop feeding your brain weak thoughts. Every time you tell yourself, "I can't do this," you reinforce failure. Every time you say it's too hard, you make it harder. But every time you tell yourself, "I can figure this out," you rewire your brain for problem solving. Every time you say, "I will make this happen," you train your mind to look for solutions. Words are not just words, they program your brain. And if you want to think like a winner, you have to start talking like one. But it's not just about what you say to yourself. It's about what you expose yourself to. If you're surrounded by people who complain all day, people who settle, people who talk about why things won't work, instead of how to make them work, it will affect you. You might not even realize it, but their words, their energy, their way of thinking is slowly shaping yours. And that's why if you're serious about building a success-driven mindset, you have to be ruthless with what you allow into your mind. Cut out negativity. Cut out the distractions. Cut out the excuses. Replace them with books that expand your thinking, mentors who challenge you, and an environment that forces you to level up. Because if you don't, your mind will keep running the same old program, and you'll keep getting the same old results. Success isn't about luck. It's not about talent. It's about training your brain to think in a way that makes success inevitable. It's about setting clear goals and then conditioning your mind to stay focused on those goals every single day. Most people start with motivation, but motivation fades. A success-driven mindset doesn't rely on motivation. It relies on systems, habits, and discipline. It's waking up every morning and asking yourself, what do I need to do today to move forward? And then doing it no matter how you feel. It's deciding that you will never let distractions, doubts, or setbacks knock you off course. It's making success non-negotiable. Your mind is your greatest weapon, but only if you train it to work for you instead of against you. You have to be intentional about what you think, what you believe, and what you focus on. If you let fear control you, you'll live a small life. If you let distractions pull you away from your goals, you'll always be playing catch-up. But if you take full control of your mind, if you train it to focus on solutions, discipline, and action, there is no limit to what you can achieve. Right now, make a decision. Decide that from this moment forward, you will install a success-driven mindset. Decide that you will no longer let old habits, limiting beliefs, or negative influences shape your thinking. Decide that every single day, you will condition your mind to think like a winner. Because once you make that decision, and once you commit to it fully, success isn't just possible, it's inevitable. Number 3, build an environment that forces growth. Your success isn't just about how hard you work, it's about where you work, who you're around, what you see, what you hear, and what surrounds you every single day. Because no matter how disciplined or motivated you think you are, your environment is shaping you more than you realize. It's either pushing you forward or pulling you back. It's either making success easier or making it feel impossible. And if you don't take full control of your environment, it will control you. Look at your life right now. Look at the people you talk to the most. Look at the things you watch, the things you listen to, the places you spend your time. Are they helping you grow, or are they keeping you stuck? Because your mind absorbs everything. If you're constantly surrounded by negativity, if you're always in the middle of distractions, if you're in a place where comfort is normal and growth is rare, then no matter how much you want to succeed, you will struggle. Your brain is taking in that energy. It's being shaped by the people and places around you. And that's why if you're serious about success, you have to create an environment that forces you to grow. You have to make success the only option. Think about this. If you put a champion in a room full of losers, that champion will start to lose. Not because they aren't skilled, not because they don't have talent, but because the energy around them is shaping their thinking. And over time, they will start lowering their standards to fit their environment. But if you put an average person in a room full of winners, that person will start to level up. They will start thinking bigger, working harder, expecting more from themselves. Why? Because the environment is forcing them to rise. It's the same reason why certain cities produce more successful people. It's why some schools produce more millionaires. It's not magic. It's the energy, the culture, the mindset of the people in that environment that makes success normal. And when success is normal, it becomes easy. If you're struggling to stay focused, if you're constantly fighting against distractions, if you feel like you're stuck in the same place year after year, it's time to take a hard look at your environment. Are you surrounded by people who inspire you? Are you in a space that makes it easy to work, easy to learn, easy to grow? Or are you stuck in a place where excuses are common, where negativity is normal, where everyone around you is okay with being average? Because if you don't change your environment will change you. And it won't be in the way you want. You don't need permission to create the right environment. You don't need anyone's approval to change your surroundings. You can start right now. Clean up your space, remove anything that distracts you. If your phone is pulling you away from your goals, put it in another room. If your desk is cluttered, fix it. If you're in a negative space, get out of there. Because small changes add up. And the more you control your environment, the easier success becomes. But the most important part of your environment isn't just the physical space. It's the people. If you want to grow, you need to be around people who are already where you want to be. People who challenge you, who expect more from you, who make you feel like you need to step up just to be in the same room as them. Because when you surround yourself with people who are operating at a high level, you have no choice but to grow. You stop making excuses because no one around you is making them. You stop thinking small because everyone around you is thinking bigger, and you stop settling because you see what's possible. This is why the most successful people are careful about who they spend time with. They don't waste energy on people who drain them. They don't let negativity take up space in their minds. They protect their time, their focus, their energy, and if you want to win, you have to do the same. You have to stop letting the wrong people have access to you. Stop letting their doubts become your doubts. Stop letting their bad habits become your bad habits. And start surrounding yourself with people who push you to be better. The fastest way to change your life is to change your environment. Because when your environment is built for success, discipline becomes easy. Motivation becomes automatic. Growth becomes natural. You wake up in a space that pushes you forward instead of pulling you back. You surround yourself with people who inspire you instead of draining you. And before you know it, success becomes the only path. That's how you build an environment that forces growth. And once you do, nothing can stop you. Number 4. Master the power of repetition. Success doesn't come by accident. It's created through small, consistent actions that over time compound into something extraordinary. If you want to achieve greatness, you need to harness the power of repetition. Think about it. Everything in life that works, whether it's building a skill, creating a habit, or even changing the way you think, is achieved through repeated effort. The good news, you have control over what you repeat. You can choose to reinforce the actions, thoughts, and behaviors that will lead you to success every single day. When I say repetition, I don't mean doing the same thing over and over mindlessly. I mean intentionally practicing, learning, and reinforcing the behaviors and thoughts that will take you to your next level. You have to train your mind to see success as a natural outcome of your consistent actions. It's like laying down bricks to build a solid foundation. At first, it may not seem like much, but day after day, you keep laying the bricks until you've created something strong and unshakable. The key here is the repetition of the right actions. It's easy to fall into the trap of doing things that don't move you closer to your goals. Checking social media, procrastinating, letting distractions rule your day. But what if, instead, you chose to repeat the actions that lead to progress? Start by choosing the small things that align with your big goals. The things that move the needle forward, even if just by a little bit. You don't need to make huge changes overnight, but what you need is to make a habit out of doing the right things every single day. This could be as simple as reading a chapter of a book that helps you grow, working on a project for just 30 minutes a day, or even starting your day with a positive affirmation. It's the little things done repeatedly that lead to major breakthroughs. But here's the most important part. Repetition doesn't just apply to the actions you take. It applies to the thoughts you think as well. If you repeat negative thoughts, if you keep telling yourself you're not good enough, that you'll never make it, that success is for other people, you'll start to believe it. Your mind is like a garden. If you plant seeds of doubt, fear, and negativity, that's what's going to grow. But if you plant seeds of belief, confidence, and determination, those will grow too. It's all about repetition. The more you focus on positive, empowering thoughts, the more natural they become. Now, repetition is powerful, but it's not enough just to go through the motions. You need to make sure that what you're repeating is aligned with where you want to go. That means being intentional with your time, your focus, and your energy. If you're constantly repeating tasks that aren't leading you forward, you'll just stay stuck in a loop. But if you choose to repeat actions that challenge you, that push you outside your comfort zone, you'll see real progress. This is how you break free from the cycle of mediocrity. You have to make the choice to do things today that your future self will thank you for. The more you practice that, the more it becomes who you are. Consistency is everything. If you're showing up every day and doing the right things, you will eventually see the results. Success doesn't always happen in a big dramatic moment. It often happens quietly, over time as the result of consistent effort. This is why repetition is so important. It's the building block of success, the thing that compounds and creates lasting change. So ask yourself, what can I do today that will move me closer to my goals? What can I repeat every day that will create the future I want? The beauty of repetition is that it's in your control. You get to decide how you spend your time, what you think and what you do. So choose wisely. Repetition is like the glue that holds everything together. It's the force that will keep you on track, even when you don't feel like it. When things get tough, when you're tired or when you start doubting yourself, repetition will pull you through. You've already laid the foundation, and now it's time to keep building. Every action you take, every thought you reinforce, every habit you form, it's all part of the bigger picture. Repetition may feel small, but it's what makes success inevitable. In the end, it's not about having a perfect plan or waiting for the right moment to start. It's about committing to the process of repetition, of showing up every single day and doing the work. If you make that commitment, success will no longer feel like something you're chasing. It will feel like something that's already on its way to you. It's the power of repetition. Do it consistently, and watch how it changes everything. Number 5. Destroy the triggers that keep you stuck. Success is a journey, not a destination. But if you want to truly get to where you want to go, you need to understand one thing. Triggers are the hidden obstacles that stop you from making progress. These are the habits, environments, people, and even emotions that pull you back when you're trying to move forward. The power to change your life doesn't just come from pushing harder or working longer. It comes from identifying and eliminating the triggers that keep you stuck in old patterns. Imagine this. You wake up in the morning with the best intentions to hit your goals. You've got a clear plan, you're fired up, and you're ready to tackle the day. But then, out of nowhere, something happens. You check your phone and suddenly you're scrolling through social media for 30 minutes, or maybe you get a call or a text that throws off your focus. Maybe someone at work distracts you or a little self-doubt creeps in, and suddenly you're off track. Before you know it, the day is wasted, and you're feeling defeated. The thing is, these aren't just random events. They're triggers, and they're stopping you from getting where you want to go. The key to breaking free is recognizing those triggers and intentionally removing them from your life. You can't afford to let these distractions control you any longer. If you want to build a life of success, you have to take full ownership of your environment, your habits, and your mindset. If you don't, you'll constantly be fighting against these invisible forces that keep pulling you back. The first step is awareness. You can't eliminate what you don't recognize. Start paying attention to what happens when you get distracted. What's triggering you? Is it the people you hang out with, the environment you're in, the thoughts that pop into your mind? When you get clear on your triggers, you can start to create a strategy for eliminating them. Maybe you need to set boundaries with certain people. Maybe you need to stop checking your phone first thing in the morning. Maybe it's about changing your environment, getting rid of distractions that steal your time and energy. You can't afford to wait for the perfect moment to take action. Start now by cutting off anything that doesn't serve your goals. And here's something you need to understand: breaking the cycle of triggers isn't easy. It's going to take time, discipline, and consistency. But here's the good news. Once you remove the things that hold you back, your mind and energy will be freed up to focus on the things that matter. You'll be able to work with laser-like focus on your goals instead of getting sidetracked by old habits. You'll have more mental clarity, more emotional strength, and more energy to put into the things that actually move you forward. This isn't about eliminating everything that might make you feel good in the moment. It's about eliminating the things that keep you stuck in a cycle of mediocrity. For example, maybe you've been staying up late, watching TV, or spending time with people who drain your energy. These might feel good in the moment, but they're triggers that keep you from becoming the person you want to be. If you want to take control, you need to start breaking these habits and replacing them with actions that move you closer to your goals. It's not always easy, but it's always worth it. Think about this. The more you remove distractions and triggers from your life, the more you create space for the things that matter. You'll start to feel lighter, more focused, and more driven. The work you do will feel more rewarding because you're no longer caught up in a tug of war between your goals and your distractions. Instead of living in a constant state of overwhelm and frustration, you'll feel empowered and in control of your own life. You'll feel like you're finally moving in the right direction toward the person you've always wanted to become. Now here's where the real magic happens. Once you've removed those triggers, you can start replacing them with empowering actions. The energy you once spent on distractions can now be focused on the things that will truly elevate your life. You can start building habits that serve your long-term vision, whether that's dedicating time to learning, focusing on your health, or growing your business. You can start surrounding yourself with people who support your dreams and creating an environment that nurtures your growth. The more you do this, the more success becomes inevitable. But don't think this will happen overnight. This is a process. It takes time to identify your triggers, to create new habits, and to change the environment you live in. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. As long as you keep showing up every day and making small changes, you'll start to see massive results. Over time, you'll start to notice that those old distractions no longer have a hold on you. You'll be free to focus on what truly matters, and success will follow. Eliminating the triggers that keep you stuck is one of the most powerful things you can do for yourself. It's about taking control, about breaking free from the habits and patterns that limit you, and about creating a life that's built on intention, focus, and action. The good news is, you have the power to do this. You have the power to create the space for success to flourish. All you need to do is commit to removing the things that are holding you back. Once you do that, you'll be amazed at how quickly your life starts to shift in the right direction. It's all about clearing the path for success, and it starts with you.
Number 6. Use daily mental programming to stay on track. Your mind is being programmed every single day, whether you realize it or not. The question is, who's doing the programming? Are you in control of what enters your mind? What shapes your thoughts? What drives your actions? Or are you just letting the world decide for you? Because here's the truth. Your results in life, your habits, your level of success, are all a product of the messages you feed your mind every day. And if you're not actively choosing those messages, then someone else is doing it for you. Think about it. Every time you scroll through social media, watch TV, listen to conversations around you, your mind is absorbing information. And most of the time, that information is useless. It's negativity. It's distractions. It's things that pull you away from the life you want. If you're constantly surrounded by people who complain, guess what? You'll start complaining. If you constantly hear people talking about how hard life is, how impossible success is, you'll start believing it too. Your mind is like a sponge, and whatever you expose it to, it soaks up. And that's why mental programming isn't optional. It's necessary. Because if you're not feeding your mind the right things every day, you'll be trapped in the wrong mindset for the rest of your life. Every day you have to take control of what you allow into your mind. You have to be intentional. You have to decide, what kind of thoughts do I want to dominate my life? Because if you want to be confident, if you want to be disciplined, if you want to be successful, it's not enough to just wish for it. You have to wire your brain to think, act, and operate at that level. And the only way to do that is through repetition, through exposure, through feeding your mind with the right information every single day until it becomes automatic, until it becomes who you are. Imagine waking up every morning and feeding your brain the most powerful, life-changing ideas, instead of mindlessly scrolling through distractions. Imagine filling your mind with thoughts of success, discipline, and confidence before you even start your day. Imagine repeating the kind of beliefs that will make you unstoppable, instead of letting the world tell you who you are. That's mental programming. And that's how you shift your entire life. You need to start replacing the noise with purpose. You need to flood your mind with the thoughts that will push you forward, not hold you back. That means listening to motivational content, reading books that expand your mind, writing down affirmations that reinforce the identity you want to build. You can't just hope that your mind will change. You have to force it. You have to make it impossible to think like a loser. Because once your mind is locked in on success, everything else will follow. And this isn't just about motivation. This is about science. Your brain rewires itself based on what you repeatedly expose it to. If you constantly tell yourself, I'm not good enough, I can't do this,
Success is hard. Your brain accepts that as truth. It starts filtering the world through that belief. But if every day you tell yourself, I am disciplined, I am unstoppable, I will figure this out, your brain starts operating at that level. It starts finding ways to make that a reality. You don't get what you want in life. You get what you believe you deserve. And those beliefs are built through repetition. That's why this has to be a daily practice. Not once a week, not whenever you feel like it. Every single day, because if you don't take control of your mental programming, your environment will do it for you. And I can promise you, the world is not going to program you for success. It's going to program you to settle, to doubt yourself, to stay where you are. So take back control. Set a standard for what enters your mind. Remove the garbage. Stop feeding your brain negativity. Start every morning by reinforcing your vision, by reminding yourself who you are and what you're capable of. Listen to things that make you stronger. Read things that sharpen your mind. Say things that shape your future. Because the moment you start programming your mind with purpose, everything in your life will begin to shift. You will think differently. You will act differently. You will become a different person. And that's when you realize you were never stuck. You just needed to rewire your mind.
Number 7. Surround yourself with high-level thinkers. You're not here by accident. You're here because deep down you know there's something bigger waiting for you. You can feel it. You have this inner desire to break free from the ordinary, to reach heights that others only dream of, and you're willing to do whatever it takes to get there. But here's the truth. No one does it alone. If you want to elevate your life to the highest level, you must surround yourself with people who challenge you, push you, and most importantly, make you believe that you can achieve anything you set your mind to. The people you spend the most time with will either fuel your success or hinder your growth. There's no middle ground. The ones who push you to think bigger, to take action, to grow, those are the people who will be your catalyst for success. But the question is, are you actively surrounding yourself with the right people? Because without the right support, even the most ambitious goals can feel impossible to reach. If you want to succeed, it's time to start building a circle that doesn't just support your dreams, it demands them. Let's talk about what this really looks like. You need to be surrounded by high-level thinkers. People who are already where you want to be. Think about it. If you're the smartest person in your group, you're in the wrong group. You need to be in a circle where people challenge you, inspire you, and force you to raise your own standards. It's about being around people who have already climbed the mountain you're looking to scale. You want those people who can look at your goals and say, you're not dreaming big enough. Here's how you can do more. Now, it doesn't matter where you are in life right now. It doesn't matter if you feel like you're starting from the bottom or if you're already on your way up. Surrounding yourself with high-level thinkers isn't about being with the most successful people in the world. It's about being with people who push you to think beyond what you thought was possible. It's about finding individuals who inspire you not just with their words, but with their actions. You need to find people who are actively pursuing their own greatness and who won't let you settle for mediocrity. One of the greatest gifts you can give yourself is the courage to seek out people who elevate you. Too often we hold on to relationships out of fear of being judged, fear of feeling unworthy, or even fear of being left behind. But here's the thing, growth happens in discomfort. When you're constantly challenged, when you're always looking for ways to level up, that's when real transformation happens. And if you're always surrounded by people who play it safe, who aren't stretching themselves, then you'll start to believe that playing it safe is the way to go. That's how you stay stuck. When you surround yourself with high-level thinkers, you're no longer looking for permission to succeed. You're no longer questioning if it's possible. The people around you become a living example of what's achievable. They show you what's possible. They believe in your potential, sometimes more than you believe in it yourself, and they won't let you stay small. That's the power of the right circle. It pushes you, it inspires you, and it makes you believe that success isn't just for the chosen few, it's for the ones willing to work for it, to learn and to grow. It's not enough to just be around people who are where you want to be. You need to find mentors, coaches, and role models who are going to show you the path. You need people who will not only tell you what to do, but who will challenge you to think differently, to act differently,
and to look at the world through a different lens. These high-level thinkers help you break out of the mold that society has created for you, and they encourage you to define your own path. One that is driven by your unique strengths and vision. Now let's be clear about something. This doesn't mean you need to cut ties with everyone in your life who isn't on the same path. You're not abandoning anyone, you're simply elevating your own standards. You're setting the bar higher for the people you associate with. Because here's what happens when you raise your standards: the people around you will either rise to meet them or they will naturally fall away. And that's okay. The ones who truly belong in your circle will rise to the challenge. They'll be there to support you, to celebrate your victories, and to help you through the tough times. But here's the flip side. When you're not surrounded by high-level thinkers, you risk falling into complacency. You risk falling into a mindset of good enough and losing sight of what's truly possible. That's the trap of mediocrity. Mediocrity surrounds itself with mediocrity. It settles, it doesn't challenge you to grow, it doesn't push you to be better. But success, real, lasting success, is built on growth. It's built on being in a space where you're constantly challenged, constantly pushed, and constantly learning. Think about your current circle. Are the people around you inspiring you to be your best? Or are they holding you back from reaching your full potential? Are you learning from them? Or are they simply there because they're comfortable? Be honest with yourself. It's time to make a change. The quality of your life depends on the quality of the people you choose to spend your time with. This isn't just about business either. This applies to your personal life. Who you choose as your friends, your partners, and your inner circle will shape your thoughts, beliefs, and actions. Surround yourself with people who are constantly growing, who are passionate about life, who are always striving for more. The right people will bring out the best in you, they'll inspire you to take action, and they'll challenge you to keep going when it feels like you can't. The key here is to seek out those who inspire you. Find mentors who've been where you want to go and are willing to show you the way. Look for role models who not only talk the talk but walk the walk. These are the people who will make you believe that success isn't just a dream, it's a reality, waiting for you to claim it. In the end, success isn't just about what you do, it's about who you surround yourself with. When you place yourself in a high-level environment, you can't help but rise to the occasion. It's in your nature. You'll start to see the world differently, think bigger, and act bolder. And when that happens, your success becomes not just a possibility, it becomes inevitable. So go ahead, elevate your circle, surround yourself with those who believe in you, challenge you, and push you to become the person you were always meant to be. The power to create your success lies in the people you choose to share your journey with. Make the right choice, and watch your life change in ways you never thought possible.
Number 8. Turn discipline into an unbreakable habit. You already have the power to transform your life. It's in your hands right now. And if you're not already using it, then it's time to start. This is where everything shifts. The key to success, the one thing that separates the people who make it from those who fall short, is discipline. Not motivation, not talent, not even luck. It's discipline. The ability to stay focused, committed, and consistent, no matter what life throws your way. You're probably thinking, but that sounds so difficult. Well, let me tell you something. Yes, it's difficult, but it's also simple. And it's worth it. The secret to becoming unstoppable, to achieving the life you've always dreamed of, is turning discipline into an unbreakable habit. Every success story you've ever heard, every person you admire for their accomplishments, has one thing in common. They've mastered the art of discipline. It doesn't matter if they were born into wealth or poverty, if they had a head start or had to fight for every inch. What matters is that they were willing to commit to the daily grind, to show up every day, even when they didn't feel like it. And that's the difference. The ones who succeed aren't the ones who get lucky. They're the ones who refuse to quit. The ones who wake up every single day with the intention to do something, no matter how small, that moves them closer to their goal. But here's the thing. Discipline isn't something you're born with. It's something you build. It's like a muscle that gets stronger the more you use it. When you start small, when you make one small commitment to yourself and you follow through on it, you start building the foundation for something bigger. You start building the discipline muscle. The more you use it, the more you trust yourself to do what you say you'll do. And when that muscle gets stronger, so does your confidence, your focus, and your ability to keep going, no matter the obstacles in your way.
The first step to building unbreakable discipline is to make it a non-negotiable part of your life. You need to treat discipline like oxygen, something that you can't live without. Most people treat discipline like it's optional, something they'll use when it's convenient, and when they don't feel like it, they drop it. But discipline isn't about feelings. It's about showing up every day, regardless of how you feel. It's about doing what you said you were going to do, even when the motivation isn't there, even when the distractions are calling your name. When you commit to it fully, when you make it your foundation, it becomes a force in your life that drives you forward. But here's where it gets interesting. The more you discipline yourself, the easier it becomes. In the beginning, it might feel like a struggle. It might feel like every task is a mountain you have to climb. But the more you practice discipline, the more you push through the resistance, the more it starts to feel natural. Over time, you'll find that what once felt hard becomes easy. It's like when you first started going to the gym. Those first few workouts might have been exhausting, but eventually your body got used to it. The same goes for your mind. The more you discipline yourself to stay focused, to stay committed, the more your mind starts to shift. It becomes a habit. And when something becomes a habit, it no longer feels like a struggle. It's just a part of who you are. Now, this doesn't mean it's going to be easy. There will be days when you don't feel like showing up, days when you want to quit, days when the temptation to take the easy route feels overwhelming. But that's where the power of discipline really kicks in. You have to push through those moments. You have to show up when you don't feel like it. Because it's in those moments of resistance, in those moments of discomfort, that your discipline is truly forged. And every time you push through, every time you do what you said you were going to do, even when it's hard, you strengthen that muscle. You build the confidence to keep going. You develop the belief that you can achieve anything, as long as you commit to it and stay disciplined. One of the best ways to strengthen your discipline is to set small, achievable goals and hold yourself accountable for them. These goals don't have to be massive. In fact, the smaller they are, the easier it is to stay consistent with them. If you're trying to get in shape, for example, don't commit to working out for an hour every day. If that feels overwhelming, start with 15 minutes a day. Make a commitment to yourself that you will show up for 15 minutes every day, no matter what. And once you hit that goal consistently, then you can start to raise the bar. You build trust with yourself by keeping those small promises, and that trust is what fuels your discipline. Another powerful way to build unbreakable discipline is to create a routine that aligns with your goals. A routine takes the guesswork out of your day. It removes the need for motivation, because you've already set up a system that supports your success. When your day is structured, when you know exactly what you're going to do, and when you're going to do it, discipline becomes easier. You're not making decisions in the moment. You've already made the decision to follow through, and your routine ensures that you do. It's like a train on a track. Once it's moving, it just keeps going. But the key is consistency. It's not about doing something perfectly. It's about showing up every single day. If you miss a day, don't beat yourself up about it. Get up, dust yourself off, and keep going. The only way you can fail is if you stop. The moment you stop, that's when you lose. But as long as you keep moving forward, as long as you keep showing up, you're winning. Discipline is the bridge between your goals and your achievements. It's the thing that takes you from where you are now to where you want to be. And it's the thing that will allow you to push past every obstacle, every challenge, every reason you might have to quit. So commit to discipline. Commit to showing up every day, no matter what, and watch as it transforms your life. One small step at a time. Because when you turn discipline into an unbreakable habit, success becomes inevitable. And that's when you start living a life that others only dream of. Number 9. Rewire your identity for success. Success isn't something that just happens to you. It's something you become. If you're waiting for the perfect moment, the right set of circumstances, or the world to align in your favor before you can step into the person you're meant to be, you're wasting time. The truth is, success is not an event. It's an evolution. And the most important part of that evolution is your identity. Your identity is how you see yourself, how you define your worth, and how you relate to the world. If you want to be successful, You need to start by rewiring that identity. You need to see yourself as the person who is capable of achieving extraordinary things. Because only then will you begin to take the actions required to make that success a reality. Rewiring your identity for success means changing the way you think about yourself at a core level. It means shedding the beliefs that have been holding you back, the old programming that tells you you're not enough, or that success is reserved for someone else. These are the stories you've been telling yourself for years, and they are deeply ingrained. But you have the power to change them. You can rewrite your narrative. You can choose a new story, one where you are the hero, the one who overcomes every obstacle, who pushes through every challenge, and who refuses to settle for mediocrity. When you start to rewire your identity, it's like flipping a switch inside your mind. All of a sudden, you start thinking differently. You start believing in yourself in ways you never have before. You begin to see possibilities instead of limitations, opportunities instead of obstacles. And as your thoughts begin to shift, so do your actions. You start to make decisions based on who you want to become, not based on who you were yesterday. This is where the magic happens. When you change your identity, you change your entire life. One of the most powerful ways to begin this transformation is to immerse yourself in the person you want to become. Surround yourself with the things, the people, and the environments that reflect the version of you that you're stepping into. If you want to be successful, you need to start acting like the successful person you envision. You need to think like them, talk like them, and walk like them. You need to show up every single day as the person you want to become. And the more you do that, the more your identity starts to shift. Because your brain doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's imagined. When you start acting as if, when you begin to step into that new version of yourself, your brain will start to accept that identity as your truth. But here's the thing. Rewiring your identity isn't a one-time thing. It's an ongoing process. It's something you have to work on every single day. Every time you make a decision that aligns with your new identity, you're reinforcing that shift. And every time you make a decision that doesn't align with who you want to be, you're reinforcing the old identity. This is why consistency is so important. You have to be committed to the process of rewiring your brain, even on the days when it feels hard, even when the old patterns want to creep back in. But the more you commit to this process, the stronger your new identity becomes. Think about it this way. If you were training to run a marathon, you wouldn't go out and run 26 miles on your first day. You'd start with shorter runs, building up your stamina over time. You'd push yourself, but you'd also be patient with the process. Rewiring your identity is no different. You have to give yourself time to grow into the person you want to become. It's about small, consistent steps that add up over time. And while it may feel uncomfortable at first, that discomfort is a sign of growth. It's a sign that you're stepping into something new. And the more you embrace that discomfort, the quicker you'll find yourself on the other side, living the life you've always wanted. Now, this doesn't mean that the road to success is easy. Rewiring your identity for success means you have to confront your fears, your doubts, and your insecurities. You have to be willing to face the parts of yourself that you've been avoiding. But that's where the real growth happens. The challenges, the setbacks, the moments of self-doubt, these are all part of the process. You don't overcome them by running from them. You overcome them by facing them head-on, by proving to yourself that you can rise above them. And every time you do, you reinforce that new identity, the one that says, I am capable, I am worthy, I am successful. As you continue to rewire your identity, you'll start to see changes in the way you approach your goals. You'll begin to set bigger goals, because you now believe you can achieve them. You'll start taking more risks, because you trust yourself to handle whatever comes your way. You'll make bolder moves, because you no longer fear failure. You embrace it as a stepping stone towards success. And most importantly, you'll begin to see yourself as someone who is always moving forward, always growing, and always becoming the best version of yourself. Rewiring your identity is the foundation of lasting success. It's the key to unlocking your true potential. Because when you change how you see yourself, everything else follows. Your actions, your choices, and your results all begin to reflect that new identity. And when that happens, success doesn't feel like something you have to chase. It becomes a natural byproduct of who you are.
You become a magnet for success because you're no longer operating from a place of fear or limitation. You're operating from a place of confidence, belief, and power. So if you're ready to step into the person you were always meant to be, it's time to start rewiring your identity. It's time to change the story you've been telling yourself. It's time to become the person who is worthy of the success you desire. Because when you do that, success will no longer be a dream. It will be your reality. And the best part is, it's all within your control. The power to transform your life is already inside you. It's time to unlock it.
Number 10. Make success inevitable with long-term conditioning. Success isn't a fluke. It's not a random series of lucky events that come together just when you need them to. Success is a result of conditioning, a long-term process of building habits, thoughts, and behaviors that align with your goals. If you want to make success inevitable in your life, you've got to go beyond just taking action here and there. You need to create an environment in which success is the only possible outcome. You've got to condition yourself day in and day out until the process of becoming successful is so ingrained in you that it happens almost effortlessly. This is how you make success inevitable. You might have heard that success is a journey, not a destination, and that's absolutely true. But here's the thing. Making that journey an automatic part of your life is the key. You need to take the power of repetition and use it in your favor until your path is clear and unwavering. Success isn't about occasional bursts of energy or short bursts of intense focus. It's about developing a long-term commitment to the process and building momentum that propels you forward with unstoppable force. The more you condition your actions and mindset, the more success becomes part of who you are. It's not just something you pursue, it's something you live every single day. So how do you make success inevitable? It starts with creating a lifestyle that reinforces success at every level. You want to make your daily routines and actions align with the goals you're striving for. That means getting up each day and doing the things that bring you closer to your dreams, no matter how small those steps may seem. Whether it's reading, working on your craft, or simply taking care of your body, you need to make each decision a conscious act that feeds into your vision of success. Every little action compounds over time. Every time you show up, you build momentum. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you reinforce that successful future you're creating. And this isn't just about the actions themselves, it's about the attitude that comes with them. You've got to approach your journey with a mindset that refuses to quit. Your commitment to this process must be non-negotiable. It's about turning those small daily habits into an unshakable routine that drives you forward, even when the road gets tough. When success becomes a habit, you start to show up without thinking. You don't need to wait for motivation to strike. You don't need to talk yourself into doing the work. It's like brushing your teeth, just something you do because it's part of your identity. You wake up in the morning with a sense of purpose, and you go through your day with intention. The effort becomes automatic, and that's when the real magic happens. Success is no longer something you chase. It becomes a natural part of who you are. One of the most powerful tools for conditioning success is creating rituals that reinforce the mindset and behaviors you need to thrive. This isn't about luck or relying on a moment of inspiration. It's about building systems in your life that keep you on track, no matter how you feel or what challenges arise. Whether it's a morning routine that sets the tone for your day, or a nightly ritual that primes your mind for rest and recovery, these small, consistent acts build a foundation of success that you can rely on no matter what. As you continue this conditioning process, the wins will start to add up. You'll notice that the actions that once felt like a struggle are now second nature. The discipline you've been practicing becomes a reflex, and suddenly you're moving closer to your goals without even thinking about it. This is when success begins to feel inevitable. It's not a matter of if anymore, it's just a matter of when. And that's an incredibly powerful feeling. You've built a system that supports your goals, and now it's working for you without any effort. It's also important to note that making success inevitable doesn't mean the journey is going to be free from obstacles. There will be days when you feel like quitting, days when you question whether it's worth it. But when success becomes ingrained in your mindset and your habits, those obstacles become just part of the process. You don't stop when things get hard. You keep moving forward because you've conditioned yourself to push through discomfort and doubt. Your identity becomes tied to persistence and resilience, and you know that no matter how many challenges come your way, you'll overcome them. Success isn't about avoiding struggle, it's about facing it head-on and continuing the journey no matter what. Now let's talk about long-term conditioning. This is where success truly becomes inevitable. You see, success doesn't just happen overnight, it's built over time, brick by brick, action by action, thought by thought. And if you want to make it inevitable, you've got to focus on consistency. You can't afford to let days or weeks slip by where you're not reinforcing the behaviors that lead to success. Every day is an opportunity to strengthen the foundation you've built, to keep your habits sharp, and to stay aligned with your goals. One of the most powerful ways to reinforce your commitment is through accountability. When you set clear, measurable goals and make them known to the people around you, you're creating an environment where success becomes not only possible but expected. Accountability forces you to show up every single day, even when it's hard, even when you don't feel like it. When you make a promise to yourself and to others, you can't back out. You're building momentum, and the more you stay committed to the process, the more success is simply the next logical step. And remember, this isn't a quick fix. Conditioning takes time, and making success inevitable isn't about finding shortcuts or instant gratification. It's about committing to the long-term process of becoming the person you want to be, even when the results aren't immediate. When you stay consistent, when you continue to show up day after day, even when it feels like you're not making progress, you're laying the groundwork for success to become a part of who you are. And eventually you'll wake up and realize that success isn't something you're chasing anymore. It's just the natural result of everything you've been doing. In the end, success is about creating a lifestyle that makes it impossible for failure to remain an option. When you've built the right habits, developed the right mindset, and conditioned yourself to rise to the occasion every single day, success isn't just something you hope for, it's something you live. And when you reach that point, you'll know that you've made success inevitable in your life. It's not a question of if, it's a question of how soon. And that's the ultimate power you can have, knowing that everything you've done, every choice you've made, has led you to this moment, and success is yours for the taking.